welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Well, we're here with another treat on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, and my co-host today is a really good friend, our insurance carrier, our professional that's been with us for years and years now, part of America's Professional Resource Group, which you can find out more at APRGI.com. That's it, APRGI.com. It's on the screen there. It's the best professional you can find in any field you can. Carlos came from this. He's now our guru. And what's nice, he always brings great information. We just went over what happens after the fires. I mean, that's a really good question. A lot of people lost their homes, and, you know, we're praying for you. Very unfortunate. Hopefully your family was safe, but it's a reality that we all have to deal with. So, due to all the big fires, a lot of people are not getting renewed or having troubles finding great insurance or finding insurance in general. What's nice is we have Carlos Villalobos here with Carlos Villalobos Insurance to give us the top 10 ways of finding residential insurance, right?
Yes, there's a lot of ways or a lot of things you can do after a fire. We went over that just a little while ago. But more important is what happens when you need homeowners insurance or renter's insurance and nobody wants to write you.
You had to work a little harder on my property, I know.
Yes, it's
close to the brush, plus it's a rental property with a pool and all that. You had to do some research.
Yeah, you do. And then just because one carrier wants it this year doesn't mean that next year they're going to want it. So be careful.
They can change your risk tolerances.
The first one that I wanted to talk about is that non-renewal notice. People are getting those and they're being upset. They think that they're picking on that person, and that's not true. It's if you're getting non-renew, most likely your neighbor is also. The carriers are changing their guidelines, and that's what's happening. If you think your non-renewal was unfair, you can always file a complaint with the Department of Insurance. You know, look up Department of Insurance in California. They have a website. Great, a lot of great information. As a matter of fact, this is where I got this. You know, so it's public information. Number 3, don't let the actions delay starting your search for a new insurer. So if you get that non-renewal, time is of the essence. You need to start shopping.
You need 45 days, you mentioned, right?
Well, the carrier has to give you 45-day notice. But as soon as you get that renewal, even if we have insurers that are getting non-renewals effective August, we're already starting to shop for them. And if we find something that is comparable, we are calling our insurers and saying, we need you to jump on this now, buying coverage, because I don't know what's going to happen in May. Or I don't know what's going to happen in June. So if we can bind coverage now, make the payment ahead of time, we have a policy for the next year. So again, don't delay just because it says non-renew in August.
Oh yeah, don't wait till then.
Don't wait till July 1st because
change.
now you have 30 days and that's not enough time to shop around. Number 4, in addition to contacting your local agent or your agent, reach out in the community. Look who the brokers are. See who's doing business. The California Department of Insurance also has a list of all brokers.
Oh, okay.
Reach out to them. If you need help with an agent that speaks another language besides English, they're on the Department of Insurance.
So a lot of resources there in the Department
A lot of
of Insurance.
resources.
Okay.
A lot of resources.
So I like the previous one you said is, hey, maybe your insurance carrier is having a hard time finding you insurance or denied you. You can find those that are insuring in your area.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And talk
You
to
might
your
not waste your time just trying everybody. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Don't just get on that phone and call everybody because. And when you talk to an independent agent, for example, ask him, who are the carriers you represent? So then when you call the other agent, maybe you already know who that agent is getting quotes from. Because if that other agent is going to get quotes from the same carriers, that's a waste of your time, that's a waste of their time, and it just doesn't get you anywhere.
Okay.
Because now that carrier has 2 quotes for that property.
Got it.
Okay? You can utilize the premium comparison tool and coverage comparison tool on the Department of Insurance website. And by the way, the website is insurance.ca.gov. Again, insurance.ca.gov. You can go on there and there's a lot of tools. Number 7, some agents may exclusively represent one company. We were talking about. So,
yeah.
so if you're calling Farmers Insurance and all they represent is Farmers Insurance, well, then you're not getting the whole picture of all the carriers that you might be able to
Potential
get.
options, right.
Exactly.
Because we had the same thing we talked about. If you go to a bank, they only have their product. If you go to a credit union, they only have their product. We're able to go to 300. We have 300 products, and
Right.
multiple investors gives us that flexibility.
And then as a consumer, you have a better chance of getting the right product for the right situation.
Which is more important than anything.
That's right. And number 8, remember that the California Fair Plan cannot discriminate against any property. They have to insure it for fire only. Keep in mind that's all they write. It's a fire dwelling policy, but it caps out at 1,500,000 combined coverages.
Okay.
So when you take your dwelling, your separate structures, your contents, your loss of use,
All that is included.
all that is
A lot of
included.
times you might just think, oh, just my dwelling, but
Right.
yeah, like you said, loss of use and contents.
So if it caps out
careful.
over 1.5, they're not going to write it. If none of these options work for you, then they have what they call the surplus lines. Surplus lines would be non-admitted markets. Scottsdale is a good example. A great company out of Arizona. Lloyd's of London is another example. But again, if your rates were 1,000 with Farmers, now you're going to be paying 2,800.
Substantial increase.
Unfortunately,
It's called the risk.
that's the risk. And what's happening, that's happening all the time. And number 10, you can always call the Department of Insurance. I'll give a shout out to them. Their number is 1-800-927-4357. Again, 1-800-927-4357.
Yeah, love
But-
Carlos Villalobos. Always great information, buddy. Again, that was the top 10 list of how to get insurance, especially if you were just, I guess, denied.
Or non-renewed.
Non-renewed. They
Yeah.
call it non-renewed, but denied. It happens, especially in California. A lot going on. We saw it this last summer, and we don't see it getting any better. So make sure it's more important than ever. And you can, I guarantee, if you talk to the people that unfortunately did need their insurance, how important it was to have a great insurance carrier and make sure that we just talked to somebody recently that they were underinsured. They don't have enough money to rebuild the home the way it was because they didn't work with somebody who asks the right questions and helps you get the correct insurance. So thank you for always adding value to
Thank
our
you very
show
much.
and our lives. Very
Yeah,
cool. How
thank
they
you.
get a hold of you?
Call me here locally at 255-8282 or send me an email at carlosvinsurance.com. And we will reply and not charge you anything. How's that?
Very cool. Thank you, Carlos, for being part of our show as always.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, and thank you for being part of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. 8 years now, great information. Go to our YouTube channel. You can find all this at donandgino.com.